Hi everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Colin.
and this is Star Wars Conversations.
You weirdo. Well, that was an exciting beginning, Jay.
Well, it's an exciting week, Colin. It's an exciting week.
It is an exciting week.
Why is it exciting, Colin? What's happening this week?
Well, this week, Jay, is the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm excited.
The final episode in the Skywalker saga.
Oh.
So, you know what? It's funny because, as we've talked about this time, I've sort of said, I haven't been all that excited about it. And I've kind of gone through a few, starting to get a little bit more excited. In the beginning, I read a few of the supposed leaks. We don't know how true they are, obviously, until we see the movie. And then I got to a point where, I sort of going, all right, you know what I read sounds quite cool.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stop. So I actively started avoiding any spoilers from that point onwards. So anyway, they've been dropping all these different. We had like the first trailer one where Palpatine was on stage, where Ian McDermott was on stage at Celebration. Obviously, that being the first one, ending with the Emperor's laugh, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's the Emperor!"
That was exciting. That
was what the teaser trailer, right? And then after that, by the way, we are going to talk about the Mandalorian episodes 4, 5, and 6, but we're going to go with Rise of Skywalker first because obviously it's happening this week. Anyway, back to what I was saying. That was the teaser trailer. That was exciting, and then we had the main trailer drop, and I watched that, and I was like, yeah, it looks all right, but I wasn't that excited, right? Then we had a few TV spots drop, and
that recent TV spot is amazing.
This is where I'm going, right? Because this recent one, after that teaser trailer, this should have been the next trailer.
Tell me about it.
Because this is exciting, right? I mean, and also, right? I would just watch a whole movie of Kylo Ren doing this bit, right? so it starts out, you see his TIE fighter, it looks like it jumps in, right?
It does. It looks cool.
Flies in. Now, I've only seen it like 3 times. So
not like you, Jay.
No, I know. So I'm not sure where this is that he's going, but I wondered, could it be Moraband? Because, I mean, if you're going to be building a Sith fleet, right, where better to do it? But all right. So he flies in, he lands, and you see Kylo Ren get out of his ship, and he starts walking. Now, we've sort of seen a slight clip of this in other trailers, but we didn't have any context as to where it was. And he starts walking, he ignites his lightsaber, and he's walking through, and then you see him go down this, like, the ground starts dropping down, he's on some platform, and you hear Sheev laughing, and he just goes, "My boy." Which I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he's like, I've been waiting for you. And then you start hearing his voice starts to change. And he's saying, I have been the voices inside your head. And he changes from Palpatine to Snow to Vader. And you're just like, oh, man, because the conversations he's been having, it's always been the puppeteer, the puppet master. And then, Kylo Ren turns around, he points his lightsaber, and you're just like, yeah, that was fucking badass. That was badass.
That was.
And, oh, man. What a good TV spot. And why did they, wait till now? Because you put that in the main trailer, people are going to lose their mind.
But maybe it's too much. Maybe they didn't, because they didn't need to do it until now. Now, they've got us in a frenzy.
Yeah, but I mean, these are TV spots. What if there's people that haven't seen that? I mean, because
everyone sees the TV spots.
No. Because the difference is that we are Star Wars fans, right? And anyone that would potentially listen to this or be on our group or anything like that are Star Wars fans. But really, those fans are going to go and watch the movie regardless. You want to get the general public involved.
The only thing I would say though
on
that, Jay, though, is I was showing it to a couple of my friends on the train yesterday.
Yeah.
After a few beers, I was getting all excited.
Yeah.
And but they didn't realise that it was different voices. They were like oblivious to it, and I was just like, oh, and they're sort of Star Wars fans. Obviously, they're not on our level. Right. They are fans of Star Wars. They love the originals, and they didn't get it. So I just think, maybe it's a little bit lost on the Joe public. And that trailer was for us. That was for the
that was for us,
fans.
Yeah.
It's saying this is gonna be flipping awesome.
Yeah. And I posted a little bit earlier today on our group an interview that JJ gave
on Facebook.
Yes, on Facebook on Star Wars Conversations. But JJ Abrams was having a interview with ABC News show Popcorn. It's quite good, and he talked a little bit about, because they started going to, obviously it being the final episode, like you've got to give a lot of answers and that kind of stuff. And he was like, I know, I'm like very aware of that, and that their main aim was to give closure on 9 episodes, and obviously it's like, look, you can't please everyone, which of course you can't. There may be people who don't like it. Hey, we might not like it. You never know. It might turn out to be terrible. It could be the greatest movie in history.
Can't be another Last Jedi, please.
You know what? I don't think it will be, just because from my personal, what I personally like, I really like The Force Awakens.
Me too.
And I feel like, just from a feeling perspective, with that movie, JJ captured like the feeling of
Star Wars in a bottle we got.
Yeah. Whereas with The Last Jedi, it's the one that's different,
The one that's guff.
And there are people who like it, some people really like it, and that's great. I mean, I wish
for them.
I wish I'd. The funny thing is, I had a memory come up on Facebook yesterday, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And it was my immediate reaction after The Last Jedi, and I'm like, yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was really good. And I was like, I just want to go and watch it again. And I'm like, man, how that changed. And that really did change just from watching it again. Like,
it's so weird how hyper you are when you watch it, and then it's like the Phantom Menace. I saw that so many times. Well, I know you saw it about a million times, but it was only a little while later that I realised it wasn't that great.
Well, I mean, see, the thing with that though, in a way, The Last Jedi may have done us a favour going into this movie, because.
Why do you say that, Jay?
Well, because with me feeling less excited than I have been, and in a way that saddens me, because with it being the last Star Wars movie in the saga, I want to be super excited going in. And while like this trailer has got me more excited, I'm not in that. See what? It's a weird way to describe it, but when there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, I'm always like, sweaty palms, like, hearts pounding, like, oh my god, it's coming like a week. Oh my god, it's almost time. You got the ticker countdown clock and all that stuff. And I haven't been like that this time. And a lot of that came from being disappointed on the last movie.
Lowered expectations.
Yeah, right. So
how were you feeling on the way up to Solo then?
I was looking forward to Solo. Obviously it wasn't part of the saga, but obviously with that one we also knew that there was a lot of issues going on,
and it was pointless.
But there was a lot of trouble going on in the making of it, so you're kind of like, oh man, like those guys, they had to redo like most of the movie, and you're kind of like, what's going to happen? And then I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that kind of happens here. I go in thinking, okay, let's see what we get, because that's how I'm feeling about it. I'm like, okay, well, let's go and see what they give us. Whereas normally there'll be those, oh my god, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be like space battles. There's going to be this. There's going to be lightsaber duels. I wonder who's going to fight who. I wonder who's going to do this. And I don't feel that way.
Do you think that the awesomeness of Mandalorian have also got you more excited about Star Wars in general?
That has definitely helped. Yeah, definitely.
So have you heard this theory that, because isn't there no episode of Mandalorian this week coming? And I've heard that there's a theory that there's obviously there's a gap in the episode when the film comes out, and so people are saying that something happens. Well, it can't be in this episode. There must be this episode coming out, and then there's a gap, and so that's saying does something happen in Rise of Skywalker, but linked to maybe to do with Baby Yoda or something like
we're
that.
coming into Christmas week, so I mean,
so is it just people getting excited and coming up with random theories?
But here's a question, right? And I was sort of thinking about work the other day, right? So obviously,
you weren't thinking about work then.
No, I rarely think about work. Right. So we've got if you go back to the early episodes of The Mandalorian, where Baby Yoda was collected by him,
the child,
and
we had Baby Yoda. Let's not be part of this hyper bandwagon.
No, it's Baby Yoda. Yeah, you had the cloner. You had the symbols on his arm.
Symbol, yeah.
Right. So I thought, they're trying to extract his midichlorians for some reason, right? And then I thought, okay, so if we've got Sith troopers in the new movie,
I like where you're going, Jay.
Right, because it's not going to be like a shit ton of Siths walking around, and then they're going to I'll just be a trooper. I'm not going to be craving your power. But surely there's got to be something about Sith troopers. And if you've got
like a super
force
serum,
user, right? I'm wondering.
A midichlorian super serum.
I'm wondering.
Like a boost of midichlorians to give them the extra edge, like a Jedi version of Captain America.
Yeah.
Or the Red Skull.
Kind of.
And there could also be Force good ones.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
Why not?
Well, because I'd expect that with Palps being in control of these guys, they're fully mind controlled. These ones are hardcore.
Yeah.
And because they've been specifically marketed as Sith trooper.
It is weird, isn't it?
Right.
I must admit, I'm not comfortable with Sith troopers.
But then the only way I could see that, because I don't imagine that Palps has been sort of like, trying to puppeteer Kylo on the side and all this kind of stuff. At the same time, he was like, I just found a whole bunch of Siths who aren't really that good, but I could really make them into troopers. Well, and he's like been forming this army. There's this whole fleet.
Well, Jay, do you know what the Sith troopers look like underneath that armor?
No.
Well, I do.
How do
they look like? Because this is what my theory is. My fist of theory.
Okay.
They're all looking like Rey, because they are all Rey clones.
You think they're all clones of Rey?
They're all Palps' Sith Empire.
I feel like my theory might be closer to what they are. But anyway, that was just something I thought about the other day. And I was just like, yeah, that would make sense. And then it kind of like, because they do like to tie things together, and it would kind of give a reason for this being the whole thing and reintroducing the cloners and all that kind of stuff.
So you a couple of weeks ago said that you read something that was pretty, you think is likely to be a massive spoiler that you had read, so therefore you didn't tell me. Thank you. So this most recent developments, like this TV spot that we talked about and stuff, has that changed your mind on any of those previous spoilers? Have they reinforced what you've already heard without telling me anything?
No, because it was about something else.
No.
But
I did watch the thing with Josh Gad on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And it does sound like that they're going to definitely reveal who Rey parents are, aren't they?
Yeah, it does sound. And JJ's kind of hinted towards it. He said that there will be answers surrounding them. And
so is she a Palpatine clone?
And I had read something about her parents, so that was one of the things. Oh. The other thing that was interesting. Oh God, it's just gone from my mind. It was something about JJ. Something he said he was gonna that was gonna be in there. This will come back to me because.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hey, only a few days now. Only a few days now till we see it, right?
Literally, man, we will know in 3 days.
And
in about 3 days in 1 hour.
And this is my first experience at 4DX as well, so I'm quite excited about that.
Jay, it's also your first experience of seeing a Star Wars film with me.
Yes, we've never actually got together and watched one before.
Are we going to do a little YouTube afterwards?
Yes, we are. Do you think we can live stream?
Yeah, we can do it. My phone's got unlimited 4G or whatever.
Ah, sweet. So we'll live stream straight after.
Yeah,
that'd be good for all you lucky sons of bitches out there.
all of you that are up, because you'll all be watching it as well.
Yeah, well, everyone will come out to the cinema and then they can watch us. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. Do you have anything else that you want to say about the Rise of Skywalker?
There's lots I want to say about it.
Go on then.
No.
Go on.
Because I'm too excited. All I can say is, mate, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait. I want to know what the dark side Ray was in the other trailer. That's the bit that's getting me.
I'm interested to know if, when we come out of it, if I say to you, yeah, that's what I read, or no. Because I've read what that is.
So, I mean, I think it's a dream or some kind of vision. I don't think it's real.
Okay.
But I don't want you to tell me anything.
No, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Also, I need to get ordering the old visual dictionary for this film, because I love those. They're my favourite things.
They are good. Yeah, I didn't get the Last Jedi ones, which
I did get it.
But I never picked it up.
I've got it. You probably get it very cheap now, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, I expect so. But yeah, I'd like to get this one. They in this one, because they've released, they've revealed the name of one of the Knights of Ren, haven't they? That was out yesterday or the week before. I don't know if it's in visual dictionary or whatever.
What I've got to say is that most recent book that came out, the Resistance one, the one that's all about set between Jedi and Last Jedi and this one, it's really good.
Okay.
It's not very long. It's really short.
Right.
And it's a great.
Is there any useful information in it that you can share?
Well, I mean, it's literally just basically building on Poe's journey, basically trying to make Poe into a leader after his massive failure and almost cocking everything up in The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. It's basically him earning his rights back, getting the fleet together. They move around. They go to Black Spire, Galaxy's Quest place, and they start rebuilding the fleet. So you find out a bit more about that. But it's mostly a journey about that. Snap Wesley's back, Wedge's back. They're all back, man. And it's just,
Snap would be back because he's JJ's mate.
Yeah, I mean, so it is literally just a bridging book, but right. it's like I say, it's not an essential read, but it's nice. It's a nice little book and it's a nice little story. So, and it's not very long. So,
cool.
I think I've done it in about 2 days.
Right. You had the audio book?
It's on Audible. So
right, cool, awesome. All right, so anyway, let's go into
the
Mandalorian talk. Mando talk.
Let's catch up on the Mando.
So we talked about episodes 2 and 3 last time, and so now we're going to.
And how lovely was Matt on the podcast?
It was great having Matt. I really enjoyed having him on the show.
I haven't laughed so much for ages. That was a funny episode.
It was fun. And it's a shame that it got to the point where we had to kind of wrap it up. At that point, I could have just gone on.
You were getting excited, boy. You were.
So yeah, episode 4 this time. This one's called what's this one called?
Mando does stuff.
Was it? Let's have a look.
Is this the one with the Skywalker?
Yes, it is.
I love that one.
Well, this will be an interesting conversation then.
I love the ending of it.
The ending. So this one was called Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, that's it.
Yeah.
Not like the place in The Walking Dead.
No. Right, so this one, I've only watched this one twice.
Oh, you didn't like it then?
I liked things about it, but I didn't overall like it.
I liked the scary, red-eyed Skywalker. That was coming out of the trees. What was weird was that Skywalker was so powerful compared to all the ones we've seen in the Jedi or Empire, and it's just like, what? Why is it so badass?
Maybe these guys are just better with it than.
I mean, Ewoks destroyed them with 2 logs in Return of the Jedi.
Right, and then it's like you've got to really go on a big mission to destroy it. So, so this episode, I mean, it started out quite good. I mean, he's flying in, he's looking for somewhere to hide. Obviously, he'd been chased at the end of the last episode.
He was.
And he comes across this planet and lands. And he's really looking for somewhere to sort of settle down, lay low for a bit. And he stumbles upon this bar, and obviously you see Cara Dune sitting there looking cool.
She's cool.
And then we get like some really out of place barmaid turn up and start like trying to talk to him and take his order and all that kind of stuff.
She didn't have a clue, did she? She wasn't a very good barmaid.
No. And Cara Dune's sitting there in the corner, like like when you see Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
That's very like that. Yeah.
And sort of Mando sort of notices, and he's like, "How long's that woman been here?" And she doesn't really want to tell him anything. And then after a bit of chit chat, he looks up again and she's disappeared. So Mando leaves Baby Yoda. Now watch the kid.
Stop leaving that bloody baby.
Here's what I don't get. They don't really care about you, Mando. They want the damn kid, right? You're a bonus prize. Anyway.
When will he learn?
He goes outside and he's sort of walking around and he's like, where should you go? I think he uses his predator vision on his helmet and sees their footprints. Which, as well, for a galaxy where they have lots of good tech, when they're going to get HD? Because like everything flickers, right? Anyway, so
it was a long time ago, mate.
I suppose it was. She jumps off a roof and starts fighting him, and once again, Mando's getting flung around and bitch slapped a little bit. He sort of like hits her a couple of times, and they end up rolling around on the floor, and then they pull guns on each other, and then they both hear her slurping noise. Look over, there's Baby Yoda eating some soup, and he goes, "You want to get soup?" And I'm like, really? One of my issues with Mandalorian, especially in this issue,
it's turned into a Dave Filoni cartoon.
No, I mean about him, the character himself.
Is he a bit rubbish?
Oh, sorry. This just pausing here and going back to what I was saying. The other thing that JJ recently hinted at was that you might see Ahsoka in this, and that was in one of his.
Oh yeah, I'd heard that,
and I was like, no, don't do that.
My good friend Paula, who I met at Celebration, is very excited about that.
Oh, I hope that's not true. Anyway,
I hope it's bloody true.
I bet you do.
Oh, sticks.
Going back to the Mandalorian, so they chat and we find out that Cara Dune, well, it's Cara Dune, isn't it? It's not Cara, it's Cara Dune.
I don't know, mate.
She's actually said the correct pronunciation is Cara. She's an ex-rebel shock trooper,
which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool. She's a pretty cool character.
I'd like to see a little flashback of her running around on Endor or something. That would have been cool.
So my issue with the characters like Mandalorian and that, because I like that they're hitting like Western tropes and stuff like that, but both like him and her, they're too nice. Like Mandalorian is a really nice guy. This is the fundamental
thing with the show that I am struggling with a little bit, is that it needs to be a bit more
darker.
gritty.
Yeah. He's too nice. Even in the most recent episode, he's too nice.
This is a kid's show, mate.
And that's the problem. Everything doesn't need to be a kid's show because, to be honest, like, you put Baby Yoda in there. That's what gets kids into it. My daughter is 1.5 years old. She saw Baby Yoda and she's like, but she doesn't care about the Mandalorian. He's there for me, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to kind of cut through this a little bit because I can't go into too much detail just because I can't remember everything.
Well, so to be fair, you don't need to tell the entire episode. So this will be a long episode of podcast.
I think that people would love to hear all the details. Anyway, look. So they end up she kind of goes, look, I was here first. One of us is out of here. You can
get out.
And he goes back to his ship. And this was the point where I quite liked the Mandalorian in this scene, because you see him at his ship and then you see like you've had a clip at the beginning of this village where he flew over and all these people are just like, living off the land. And there's these creatures called the Krill. They're like these bandits come running and going, ooh, ooh. They're like space orcs.
Yeah. They were like orcs, I was just going to say.
Yeah, and they start.
It was very Lord of the Rings.
And taking their crops. Actually, to me, it was very Star Trek. They start taking all their crops and everything. And this was the kind of this village is the kind of place I can imagine the Enterprise flying over and going, there's life forms here, they're a bit behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to dress in their clothes and go down there and just see what they do. Yeah. And then like the crew would attack, and
or they've got like a hologram base there, and then Data goes crazy, and then he goes out there, and then they get revealed, like that episode, which is really good in season 3.
But yeah, totally. To me, this is what this episode was a Star Trek or the Orville episode, right? Right? But hey, the Orville is good, man. The Orville it gets Star Trek right to me. Sometimes the Orville gets Star Trek more right than Star Trek does. And because I like in the Orville that it's a little bit more realistic about how you would act on the bridge if you're like in the bar or whatever. Anyway, these guys from this village go up to Mando at his ship at night, and he's just doing a little bit of tinkering around, and they're like, hey, we're getting attacked by these guys, and like, you're a Mandalorian, they're the greatest warriors in the galaxy, so we've heard, would you come and help us? And he's like, nah. And they're like, oh, we've got money. And he's like, you haven't got enough. And I was like, yeah, I like that. That's how he should be, right? And then they kind of go, oh, okay, then we're gonna have to walk all the way back. And then he's like, hold on a minute, you've got lodgings. And it's like, yeah, of course they've got houses, dude, right? Anyway, so he agrees. They get on the ship and get all his kit and his guns and go back. So then, like, obviously, I can't remember, he bumps into Cara Dune, and they're like, oh, will you guys go and check out these crew? And they go and infiltrate their base, and then they come back after a little fight with them, and they go,
and they teach everyone how to be a fighter.
But first, Mando goes, you can't live here anymore. You got to go. And I was like, okay, cool, because that's realistic. Right? He'd be like, yeah, fuck this, man. There's like too many of them. Hell no. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, but please. And then she's like, yeah, bedside manner. She starts trying to explain it to him, and then he goes, wait, we could teach them. And I'm like, why would he do that? Why would that happen? Right? Anyway, so they start teaching them, and you find out that they're so fucking dumb. Some of them hold their sticks backwards. Right? So it's like, don't save these people. They don't deserve saving. Right? Anyway, they start teaching them. They come up with a plan, because like they found out that these krill have got an old Imperial chicken walker, and they go, look, this thing's going to come and blow up your homes, but what we're going to do is that paddy field there, I just need you to dig it deeper, and it's going to fall in it, right? And so they go and try and like alert the baddies. Mando and her come running back, and they hide by the ditch, and they're like, right now, and obviously this woman that Mando starts fancying, she's the only one that can shoot. She's obviously an ex-Imperial something or other. She also, the other thing I didn't like is she says to Mandalorian, when was the last time you showed anyone your face? And he goes, oh, he points at her daughter. He's like, when I was kind of her age, which was like 10 or something. And as she kind of sort of says about it, you can tell that he's starting to feel like, oh yeah, I wish I could. And it's like, no, because since you were 10, firstly, he says that he was grateful to them for taking him in, and they've taught him to live a warrior life, right? And that's how he would live, and he would believe in their ways. Yeah,
if he was from that young, he'd have been indoctrinated, wouldn't he?
And he wouldn't be like, yeah, man, he wouldn't even be
just
thinking
because a little bit of skirt.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be dumping his whole Mando life.
And Cara Dune's kind of going, oh, you could live with that hot widow and all this kind of stuff. And it's like,
she's not even that hot.
No, she wasn't. And he would also be more into Mando women, just because of how they are.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
Right?
Mandos.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, he'd be more into like people that are similar to him, I think. Anyway, I didn't buy that. And then after she says that, right, she leaves the room, right, and he takes his helmet off to eat. We don't see his face, but he puts it down and then stands in front of a fucking open window where everyone's just playing around outside, and stands there with his helmet off eating. It's like, yeah, don't take it off in front of people, except everyone. Right? I just like to do it. And it's like, so what if one of the kids look around and go, oh, look, he's taking his mask off. And he's like, oh shit, And then he tells her as well, because she goes, what happens if you take your mask off? He goes, I can never put it back on again. She's like, oh, is that it? It's like, yeah, this is the way.
I didn't get it. I don't get that whole Mando helmet bollocks. I mean, it's just so Judge Dredd.
I think this is just since they have been wiped out a bit, and they're
all
hidden, because they weren't like that in the.
They weren't like that in Rebels.
No, they weren't. So this is since the Imperials betrayed them, and
Is it because they just don't want anyone to know who they are?
Yeah, that's why they can only go out one at a time and all that kind of stuff. Sorry if there's a bit of noise here. I'm just trying to get myself a bottle of water. I'm actually balancing a water crate.
I don't want to.
There you go.
I don't want to edit this, man.
You don't need to edit it. Everyone can just watch. There you go. Right. So anyway, that episode, they managed to get these krill to come and chase them. They blow up. The Skywalker walks up and it stops right before the ditch. They're like, oh shit. Anyway, Cara Dune manages to trick it into falling in. It falls down, and when it falls, it just explodes because the ground
falls in the hole.
I mean, like his disintegrator rifle did nothing to it, but when it hit the ground, it blew up, right? And Mando runs over, he throws a thermal detonator in, it explodes, and that's it. They're saved, yay, and they've learnt how to fight, yay, and then Mando's back on his way because. But
the best bit was
the last bit is the best bit.
When I thought they'd kill Baby Yoda, I was like, I couldn't believe. I was like, this is. I was like shocked.
This could be amazing.
I thought that was a twist, and then I realised I didn't do it. I was just like, I was so gutted when I realised that I hadn't killed him.
So what you did get in this episode is that you got that Mando's starting to have affection for Baby Yoda, and he's like, look, this is no life for him. I'd like to leave him here because they're still after the damn baby, dude. Anyway,
just explain to me how these little tracker things that they keep carrying works. How the hell does it work? Because has Baby Yoda got something shoved up his ass
that they're trying
to track?
I have no idea
how it works. Create trackers to track Can they track anybody in the world now?
Yes. That
doesn't make any sense.
If there's a bounty on you, they'd be able to track you.
But how?
Space technology.
I mean, he's not like got a cell phone.
Space technology. Space tech. Anyway, so at this point, just they're getting ready to leave, and Baby Yoda's playing with some kids, and we see, a sniper's rifle scope, and it's aiming at him. It looks at the Mando first, and it goes across, sees Baby Yoda, and we see like there's a bounty hunter, and just as he's about to take the shot, you hear the shot fire, and then you see his body drop, and Cara Dune's standing there, and she's killed him. And Mando goes over, and he's like, "Ah, shit, they're after the kids still." Who knew?
Surprise!
Right, and he's like, "Got to get out." And then that's the end, and they sort of go, they shake hands, and go, until we meet next time. I was kind of hoping that he would start forming a crew here, and I thought that she might go with him because they're both kind of trying to lay low and get on the run. Right?
I think there's been false advertising here. I thought he was going to have a whole proper gang and stuff. And
maybe he will.
All these characters are just in one episode. It's weird.
But maybe he will, because she says, until we meet again. But because they're both
meet again. Don't know why. Don't know when.
So even though he got the lyrics wrong, you get to hear Colin sing. So special. This is an extra special episode. But yeah, I mean. They're both in the same situation in a way. They're both trying to lay low. They're both
Why aren't they going to get it together?
Right? But anyway, so I thought they'd go together, but they say till we meet again, and then they go their separate ways, and Mando leaves, and that's the end of that episode. That was probably my worst episode out of all of them so far, up to that point. In fact, I think it still is my worst episode. So, episode 5. That one was called The Gunslinger, and this was Dave Filoni's second episode to direct. Now, I've heard a lot of negativity about this episode online, but I really liked it, yeah. And one of the big complaints about it is that, it doesn't further the character or the plot. But here's the thing.
None of them do.
But this show, right, it is a homage to Westerns on a Saturday afternoon.
It's classic TV where nothing actually changes.
It's kind of like, George Lucas, when he made Star Wars, he was a fan of watching the old 1930s Flash Gordon TV show that used to come out. And it's just like each week, this is almost like the adventures of the Mandalorian. And he goes somewhere, he rides into town, there's some baddies, he goes and sorts them out, helps out the village, then he goes somewhere else, and then he runs into trouble there, and he goes somewhere else. So this next episode, the starting of it was awesome. He's getting chased by another fighter, and it's got a bounty hunter, and he's shooting at his ship, takes some damage, and then the bounty hunter goes, "I can bring you in warm, I can bring you in cold." And Mando pulls a Top Gun, and he like hits the brakes, goes flying behind him, and he goes, "That's my line," and then blows him up. And then you get the little, just as he's about to get blown up, he gets screams in his cockpit, right? And then Mando's ship's all damaged, so he needs to land somewhere. Like, what's the nearest planet that I could land on? Oh, this old dust ball. What is it? Tatooine. Okay, so he goes and lands on Tatooine. There must be somewhere I can get my ship repaired. Oh, what's this place? Mos Eisley. What? But I'll tell you what, I loved going back to Mos Eisley.
That was so cool.
Because all these years later, and now the Empire's fallen, and you see what Mos Eisley has become. And when we last saw it, it was a bustling place, but now it's like a ghost town. You know, you've got the stormtrooper helmets on spikes, but the streets are pretty empty. And then obviously Mando rocks up to the cantina, leaves the baby on the ship while he leaves his ship to be repaired by this mechanic who he doesn't want her to use her droids to help with repairs. And he's like, I'll get the money for you to do this. So he rocks up to the cantina, and you remember, we don't serve your kind in here. Your droids, you'll have to wait outside. Well, now the cantina is run by droids, right? And there's barely any patrons in there. And he comes in and he starts asking for work. And they're like, the bounty hunter guild no longer works out of here. And he's like, you're going to struggle to get work. And we see this dude sitting in Han Solo's chair with his feet up on the table. And he's like, hey, come sit over here. Now, the first thing I looked for was there a scorch mark on the wall behind him. No, it wasn't. And I'm sorry, the cantina does not strike me as the kind of place that maintains itself that much. Right? So if there was a blaster mark there, I think it would still be there. Anyway, and so he sits down. Now, I thought something was going to happen at this point. I was like, he's going to shoot this dude under the table and it'd be like reverse. But that didn't happen. And this guy, he's got a bounty that he's after. He plops up the hologram, and it's got Ming-Na Wen's face on it. And Mando's a bit
She's got the best name, isn't she?
Right, yeah, I know, right? And Mando kind of goes, "Yeah, no, I'm not taking this job." And he's like, "Oh, come on, man!" Like, and he's like, "Look, how long have you been in the guild?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been in there for a while." It's like, "Not that long if you don't know who she is." And he's like, all right, it's my first job. Right, I need this so I can get into the guild. And he's like, she'd kill you. And he's like, all right, look, I'll tell you what, I'll help you out. Meet me here, bring some speeder bikes, and we'll go. So they agree, and he brings a swoop bike and a speeder bike, and they go off into the desert, and you see them going through the Dune Sea, and that's pretty cool. And I quite like that, getting to see them riding around.
I thought the effects looked a little bit rubbish on that.
But I thought that the effects looked a little bit like how they did when Star Wars
1977.
Yeah, but I think that maybe that was on purpose. Right?
Oh yeah, maybe.
There were a couple of bits in this episode, though, because how they're using that technology where they have the big screens. So you know what they're doing. So like the backgrounds, and they're using these giant screens that have got like all the backgrounds on. So a lot of the time you can't tell. But
I'm in Delaware.
At one point they pull up, right, and Mando gets out the macro binoculars and he goes, what can you see over there? And he has a look. He's like, Tusken Raiders. I've heard the locals talk about those scum. And he's like, well, maybe you can tell him yourself. And it's like a comedy. It's almost like a comedy. Like you can hear the vinyl record, and he like looks around. They're going, like right next to him.
That was like, why would they do that? I'd be like,
I know, right? Yeah, they're just standing there. They're like waiting, and he turns down. They're like
waiting for him to look at them.
But the funny bit here, see, this was a point where I could tell it was on a set, because when it turned to them, they were like standing there, and the background didn't look like it joined correctly, and they looked a bit clean as well. Anyway, Mando comes out and does some sign language, right? And he talks to the Tusken Raiders and makes a deal.
Has that been established before, that they all talk in sign language, or what?
I guess maybe it's a way for different ones to communicate. Mandalorians can be all different races, and maybe there's been Tusken Raider ones in the past.
I thought that was the whole point of Basic.
But maybe it's a basic sign language. Maybe because
I was just wondering whether or not Tusken Raiders can't actually speak. That's when I make that funny noise.
Well, that's their language, but they can't obviously.
It's not a language, is it? They're just going each other.
No, it is because we've seen them in the previous movies going and talking to each other. We've seen them do that.
I think they're just being like pigs.
So anyway, he makes a deal.
That's a sexy noise.
He throws this guy's binoculars over to them, and he's like, "Hey, they were brand new." He's like, "Yeah, like I've made a deal so we can pass through the dunes without trouble." They go along, and then they see a dewback, right, which was also quite cool to see, and it's got his rider attached to it and being dragged along behind. And he's dead. So Mando, and this is again, Mando's never a step ahead of his opponents, right?
He is winging it. This bloke,
and it is like he's not as good as they make out he is. He ain't no great warrior, and there's a part of me that wants him to start becoming much better.
My main issue with this episode is the other fella that turns tables on him, and I'm just like, how did he fall? It's just like, God's sake, Mando.
But even at this point, right? At this point, he goes up to the dewback, and then he's like, "Oh shit, it's a trap!" Right? And then he gets shot, right? And it's only because he's got his nice Beskar armor that he doesn't get killed, because they never hit him not on the armor, right?
No.
Even though there's loads of open bits, they always aim for the armor, right? So she's
shiny
on a rock with like exactly. So you'd be like, "Oh, that shiny bit's probably going to protect him. I'll go for the non-shiny bits." So she's got a sniper rifle. She's shooting him, and he gets shot like 3 times in this bit. He gets shot once.
I'd shoot him in his little visor bit. That surely isn't armoured. You know what I mean?
Right, but no, they don't go for between anyways. And he gets shot in the back and falls down. And at this point, like, he kind of goes, "Oh, she's shooting," and he goes, "The Beskar protected me." And the other guy goes, "But I don't have Beskar." He's like, "Nope." I like that. That was quite good. Anyway, they wait till night time. They have a plan where they're going to use these flash grenades.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me just go back. So, when he agreed to be on this hunt with him, why did he agree to do it with him? And do you think he had an intention of actually letting this young whippersnapper get the whole bounty or not? Because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because he needs the money to prepare a ship, and the guy goes, "You can keep all the money. I don't care about that. I just want to get into the bounty hunter guild." So he's like, I want to weigh in.
So he basically using it to get the job, because he couldn't have got the job himself.
He wouldn't be able to beat her.
Yeah.
So
but he would. But Mando would have been.
Yeah. He just needs the money. So he's like, "Well, you give me the money, I'll get you into the guild." Sweet. Anyway, they use these flash grenades. The other guy fucks his up. So Mando gets shot. And Mando goes flying off his bike, like again, right? And he's like, on the floor. Right? Then he gets up and she shoots him in the chest, and he like falls down. And it's like, man, this dude, if he wasn't wearing armor, he died fucking ages ago. And at that point, then the guy's up top, and he's like got his gun behind her, and she tries to fight him and stuff. And then Mando sees there's a bit of a scuffle going on, and he gets up there, and then he has a gun pointed at her, and she's like, "Oh shit, it's a Mandalorian. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with you." And then after that, Mando goes, "The bike's destroyed, but we need to take her back. So go get that dewback." And the guy's like, "No, you go get the dewback, because I don't trust you to fuck off or whatever." So he's like, "Okay then." So he goes back, and it's like, he's very okay. It's like, this guy is a pushover, right? So he goes back, and while he's away, she starts saying to him, "Hey, Mandalorian's wanted by the Bounty Hunter Guild. He's got this baby." And he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I saw that baby." And she goes, "If you let me go, I can help you get him, because you won't be able to beat him on your own." And at that moment, this guy, because you think he's an idiot, and he goes up to her, and she walks up, he just shoots her dead. And it's like, okay. And then he goes back to docking bay 35, where Mando's parked up. Mando comes back, sees her, and he's like, "Ah shit, I've been double crossed," because he knows at that point, right? And so he then goes back on this dewback, which obviously takes night.
But again, why did he do the dewback bit? Why didn't he send the kid on that bit and him actually deal with the?
He tried to, but the kid was like, "You think I'm going to leave you with my my target?" It's like,
yeah, but surely Mando said, "No, but I don't care. I'm in charge here. You're a turd."
why didn't they just like tie her up? One of them ride pillion on the bike, and then just tie her onto the bike, like on the front.
Just drag her along.
Yeah, well, you should get killed. They want her alive, but tie her to the front of the bike or something, and just drive up to the dewback, and then
like in Mad Max.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the Mando gets back. He goes in. He goes to the docking bay, and then the dude's there, and he's got Baby Yoda. No, he's got the woman, hasn't he? And and Baby Yoda. He's got Baby Yoda as well, right?
Oh, Baby Yoda, who he leaves again.
Yeah. So then he says to the woman to tie Mandalorian's hands up. Mando puts his gun down, he's got his hands like that, and then he's got one of the flash grenades there, and she goes, "Oh, you're smarter than you look." And right. And at that moment, Mando throws a flash grenade, and the guy's like, "Oh shit!" And then he goes to shoot. Mando's moved, but he's moved to the side of him, and he shoots him and kills him. And Baby Yoda falls down. He's like, "Oh no!" And he goes over. And Baby Yoda's there, and he picks him up, and he goes to the woman. She goes, "Ah, so you didn't get the money then?" And then he goes and picks up the money from the dude, and he goes, "Is this enough for you?" And like gives him her money, and she's like, "Yeah, that's cool." And then Mando goes, and that's the end of that episode. But you know what? It had a lot of fan service.
That wasn't the
end. No, there is a bit more. But there was a lot of fan service. There's lines in it like, "She's no good to us dead." That was quite good. And, you know, they had little bits of fan service. But, you know, I like some fan service, man. It's like, it makes it fun.
Again, that goes back to what I love about Star Wars. And that's why I love Force Awakens. It's all fan service. And so I'm more than happy for them to do cheesy things because I love it. Yeah. That's what I live for. Now, who is the person at the end? Because I really didn't know.
So at the end, you see Ming-Na Wen's body, and you just see some feet walking up to it, and you hear the chinking of spurs as they walk up. Right. So online, everyone's losing their shit, going, "Oh my god, it's Boba Fett!" Right? Because when Boba Fett walks, you hear the chinking of spurs, and then I read something else on Reddit going, also when you see Boba Fett at Slave One and Empire Strikes Back, there's this electronic sound, and you hear that in this scene as well. Now, I haven't gone back to check that. However, I reckon I'm 100% right.
Well, obviously.
that it's...
Jango Fett.
No, it's Giancarlo, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. He's playing... the Imperial, the Moff. I can't remember what his name is now. I did know his name, but he's in there. He's one of the main baddies. I reckon it's him. I reckon he walks up, sees her body, because
why is he jingling?
Because everyone's going, "Oh, because it's a Western," and he's not dressed. When you see him, he's kind of like he's got like some armor on, and he's not like in full like proper officer clothes. He's got a cape, and he's kind of a bit more rugged looking. Also,
I didn't know whether it was Cara Dune coming back.
No, I don't think it is. But people are going, it's like it's Boba Fett's shoes. No, it's not. He's just got like black trousers and brown boots on. So
anyway, Boba Fett hasn't got his armor. It got burnt off him or whatever it was.
Yeah, and then that would be that. Was it Cobb Vanth or whatever his name is anyway?
Cobblers.
So I mean,
I reckon it might be Dash Rendar.
You think they'll bring Dash Rendar back into it? That'd be quite cool, though, to bring in some characters.
Way to bring him in. Yeah. It might even be Thrawn, or it might be Ezra.
No. It ain't. It hell ain't.
It might be Ahsoka.
But I reckon.
Filoni. It'd be a Filoni character.
Yeah, no, I know.
Might be Sabine.
No, I don't. I don't think it is because it wasn't colourful enough. Yeah, it'd have to be all purple and orange and ridiculous. So I don't think it's.
What about Zeb? It could be Zeb. Didn't Zeb and the beardy bloke get it on in the end of Rebels? Did I dream that?
Sorry, what?
So
Zeb got it on with the beard.
You know Callis. You know what his name is. The one with the lamb chops. Didn't him and Zeb run away together at the end of it? That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, but I didn't think like they got it on. I didn't think like they were. So
that was my view that they were going off in the sunset together.
I didn't really watch it that way, but now I kind of feel like I need to go back and rewatch that to find out. Maybe.
I think it was.
That'd be weird because he's like some weird purple alien. Anyway. But so Giancarlo Esposito is playing Moff Gideon, right?
Yeah.
So and he's and now looking at the IMDb, he's in the next episode.
Well,
right?
it's him,
So,
then.
it's him.
It's not Boba Fett. I didn't
not.
think it was Boba Fett anyway.
No, I don't. Anyway,
But
so
I didn't know whether I was supposed to know who it was. That's what I wasn't sure about, because it was weird how I did it. I was like, well,
no,
who is it?
I don't think they want you to know. I think they want you to go, who's that? Which is what it did, right? Because it cut off immediately after that.
Could have been Lando.
Well, it's not. It's Moff Gideon. That's who it's going to be.
Or was it Rey's parents?
Oh, then actually now, yeah, because they want to tie things in. That's who it is. Yeah. So now into episode 6. This is the most recent one.
What did you think of this one, just quickly, before you get into
episode 6?
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, did you?
I liked it. It was a bit weird, but I liked it.
I thought it was quite... See...
It was long, wasn't it? It felt long.
It was 41 minutes long. This was the longest episode, yeah. This one, it was quite cool. Yeah, the guy from Sons of Anarchy. So it starts off, Mando lands on a space station, and he's gone to see an old friend, right?
Who was that fella?
Who is he? What, in real life? Or so in Batman Begins, he's like, "What, your kids don't like falafel?"
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, and he's also from Sons of Anarchy. He's Bobby in Sons of Anarchy. So so he sees him and he's like, "Hey, I've got a job and I'm a bit old now, but I've got another guy who's looking after it. I can't remember who it was, but it's Bill Burr, and there was a nice line here because he's a bit shitty with him, and he goes, he's an ex-Imperial sharpshooter, and Mando goes, well, that's not saying much, and he goes, I wasn't a stormtrooper, wise ass.
So that fella, right, he reminded me a bit of Michael Bain. That's all I kept thinking of. He looks like a young Michael Bain.
He's the comedian Bill Burr.
Well, I don't know who that is.
Who does this cartoon on Netflix called F is for Family, which is brilliant. So he done that, and that's really good. You should check it out.
I never heard of it, mate.
Oh, well, he's got some stand-up and stuff you could watch.
But what? So from the minute in on this episode, all I kept thinking was, why is he doing this? It's so obvious that this bloke is a complete knobhead.
Oh yeah,
and he's going to cause problems.
Well, see,
the whole thing, it was just like, why is he putting himself in this crap?
Well, see, as this episode goes on, and this is what I'm not buying about the character, right? Because as this episode goes on, and you meet the other members of the team in there, which we'll go into in a second, but you kind of get the impression that Mando used to run with these guys and do.
He doesn't seem like he did, does he?
No, right? Because they're all
nice.
They're all scum and villainy.
They are bad people.
Yeah,
they're the sort of people I thought he was going to be.
Which is kind of what I want him to be, because if he was bad, but you could see that there's good in him, right?
Good.
Then you kind of want to follow him, and then you kind of gradually get his journey. Yes. I can feel it. You kind of get his journey as he's on the path to redemption, right? Whereas he doesn't come across like the guy who would have hung out with them.
He is the nice. I don't think he makes any money as a Barriana. He's rubbish.
No, exactly. And this is why I don't actually want Boba Fett to ever appear in this show, because what will end up happening is Boba Fett will be after him, and then he'll end up killing Boba Fett. And I'm like, no, because Fett's meant to be the most badass bounty hunter out there. Just keep it that way, right? Anyway, so he goes on this job, and they introduce a few other characters. One's a Devorian. He's big.
I like him.
You've seen one of those.
Was he? What's his face from the crack from Highlander?
Yeah. It's Clancy Brown.
Yeah, I love him. So, I love him.
Yeah, he's cool. So you get him, and last time we saw Devorian in live action was New Hope, just sitting there in the cantina.
Wasn't there one in Force Awakens? I'm sure there was one in Maz's.
Maybe there was one in there. Yeah, I don't recall. Yeah, you might be right actually. And then we get Richard Ayoade as a droid called Zero. That made
I didn't realise that was him.
I heard the voice and immediately was like, no.
I don't think it sounded like him.
Oh, I did. I was like, it can't be. I was like, no way. Like, it's just coincidence. And then the end credits come up, and I was like, wicked, because I love him. He's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
And then this character annoyed the shit out of me, right? And this is partly, there's two people to blame here. one, it's her acting, and two, it's the director for not pulling her up on it. But this Twi'lek chick turns up, right? And obviously Mando knows her. Well, here's the thing. If it wasn't for how she acted, she could be a damn cool character, because she was badass, like the way she fought in that. But
Betsy
for some reason,
she was.
Yeah, right, she would have been, because for some reason, okay, so I guess Twi'leks have fangs, right? And she took that to mean that at every opportunity she should go and like hiss at people, like what we do in the shadows.
She reminded me of the cat in Red Dwarf.
Yeah,
the way she was walking around.
Yeah. But also, but any time anyone says anything, she's like, and she like hiss and do this little flinch. Like,
they don't do that.
They don't. I'm like, when has a Twi'lek ever done that? Bib Fortuna never did that. You never saw any of the slave girls do that. You never see Hera do it. Exactly. So why the fuck is she like hissing at everyone? That was annoying to me, and I was, and it really, really pulled me out. Every time she'd do it, I'd be like, oh god, that's so cringy, and I just couldn't understand why they would have that in there.
Was she in Cats?
She's the chick from Game of Thrones.
Which one?
I can't. What was her name?
Mother of Bush?
No, she was the wildling chick that was pulling Bran around. I can't remember.
The one that Jon Snow shags.
Yeah.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. Her.
No, not her. You know.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah, that chick. Yeah.
Oh, she's a bit
yeah, it was her. Yeah, but see, for me, if I'm the director and she started doing that, I'd be like, why are you doing that? Don't hiss.
Have you not seen Star Wars, love?
Instead, they're like, all right, yeah, cool, you're vampires now.
Who was directing this?
But you're comedy vampires. This was Rick Famuyiwa, right? Who he done the second episode, and he's a good director. So I'm surprised that he allowed this to go. But anyway, let's go on.
Didn't Dave Filoni write this episode as well?
I don't know.
I'm sure he did.
Did he?
Sure he did, yeah.
I'm not sure. I can find out, but I'll check that in a minute. So as we go on, they've got this mission. They get on the ship, and they're all bullying the Mando a bit, right? First, he's in the cockpit with the droid, and they start looking around his ship down the bottom.
They're going to pull his helmet off.
They find his guns. He jumps down and he closes the door, and then they start taking the piss out of him a bit. And they're like, "Hey, you're going to show us your eyes?" And she's kind of like, "Have you seen him?" And she goes, "A lady doesn't tell." And then she's like, "But I know who you are." Like, she knows about his past. And I'm like, I don't buy it. I don't buy this past that they're creating. Anyway, they start trying to pull his helmet off. He gets into scuffle with a Devorian, shoves him, and as he falls onto the toilet, he just happens to hit the button on the door, which opens for Baby Yoda. Then Bill Burr goes, "Oh, what's this? Your pet?" He's like, "Yeah, something like that." And he picks it up. He goes, I might have a pet. I'll start with this one." Then he pretends to drop him a couple of times, like just teasing Mando. And it's like Mando just stands there. It's almost
that bit is so cringy,
right? Anyway, at that point, and it's cringy because Mando's just standing there taking it.
Well, no, he's like, he even flinches though. It's like, oh,
yeah, I know.
God, no.
And then
you just burn the mofos.
And so, exactly right. Although we find out that doesn't really work on all of them.
Not on Devorians.
but yeah. So then Zero comes out of Lightspeed, and for some reason they all get flung around, which I've never really seen that happen when they come out of Lightspeed before.
Well, normally they don't drive like a complete twat like he did. I mean, what the hell was that? Again, none of it made sense.
I guess so, but
is this the first time he's ever flown a ship? Yeah,
but it's space, so wouldn't their gravity work no matter what way they're facing? So it really wouldn't. Anyway, so they all fall down and he drops Baby Yoda. And Baby Yoda screams as he falls to the ground, and Mando picks him up quickly and get back there. Anyway, so they dock on this prison ship, which Mando was like, "Shit, you guys, it's a prison ship. We shouldn't be going here because he got arrested. Like, why are we breaking him out?" And it's like, dude, you used to run with these guys. You should be like, "Yeah, let's do this." But instead, no, he's like a bit against it. But he's going to go and help them out. So they get inside. Bill Burr goes in. We see the whole place is run by droids, which is convenient because Mando likes killing droids. And they jump down.
He doesn't like working with them.
No. And then, like, one of the mouse droids rocks up and the Devorian just shoots it. And they're like, "Oh, shit, dude, you, alerted everyone." This is a covert mission that we all agreed we're going in on. But no, all right, you're making noise just to get stuff happening. A whole bunch of these droids rock up, start shooting at them. And they're like, "Anytime you want to help, Mando." And they're like, "Oh, shit, where's he gone?" Well, at this point, Mando's pulled a Batman and he appears behind the droids, right? And he starts fighting them. And to begin with, I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to see Mando being cool. Mando gets shot 3 times in this fight. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like,
but he is a brawler. I mean, he's got no skills, but he
yeah,
is a brawler. He's just double hard.
yeah, and he does fight them well, and he takes them all out, and all the other guys are looking a bit like shocked. But then, as soon as the fight's over, they kind of go, all right, I'm not going to show him that we're impressed, and they sort of like shove him out the way, and it's like, man, like he's getting bullied again, and it's like, oh, come on, man, what the fuck? Anyway, so they go along. They go along and they go into this control room, and the guy that voices Anakin Skywalker from Clone Wars is in there, and he's like, he's got a rebel helmet on, and he's got some stormtrooper shoes on, and all that kind of shit. And they're like, yeah, nice shoes. And they kind of like got guns at him, and Mando's like, but you said there'd be no living beings here, and no one's gonna die. It's like, I don't buy that you were this guy. I just don't buy it. And they get into a bit of a.
Well, I mean, how many people did he kill in the first episode? Loads.
I know.
Loads. He killed loads.
Mm-hmm.
He killed a lot of people.
He chopped the dude in half.
Yeah.
Right, on purpose. Right. So.
He's got a disintegrator gun.
I know, right? He just killed Jawas for like touching his ship, right? Like. He has no problem killing people, but all of a sudden, right, this guy, now that he's got a baby, he doesn't want to kill anybody, right? Anyway, so this guy's like, don't, piss off, whatever.
You don't want to kill anyone now you've had a baby, do you?
I want to kill everyone now I've got a baby. So
makes you more angry.
It does. I walk around, everyone's a threat. Anyway, the Twi'lek throws a blade in him and kills him, and he drops this thing, and he's like, it's a homing beacon, and he's told the New Republic where they are. So you've got 20 minutes.
No one cares, New Republic, they're rubs.
All right, so you've got 20 minutes now, right? So they need to get to this place. So they sneak around, and they find out where this guy is, and they open the door, and it's the
exact time brother. As well, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that's the ETA for them to arrive. Approximately 20 minutes, let's say. But 20 is what you've got to get out in. So they get there. This guy is the Twi'lek's brother, and he recognizes Mandalorian, vice versa, and he goes, you left me for dead. And as they come out, he kicks Mandalorian into the cell, because the Mandalorian is so fucking shit that he lets the guy walk around him, so his back's to the cell, and they shove him in, and then they close the door.
I mean, you can see that coming.
I know, right? So they were like, yeah, you got what you deserve. Fuck you, Mando. And then they go and run off. But luckily, Mando's got all his weapons with him. So they all going back to the ship. And, the droid walks past. And Mando grappling hooks him, pulls him in. And the droid's all stuck. And it reaches round, sticks its gun in to shoot. And I don't know if you noticed, though, when Mando got shoved in there and he fired, he shot himself.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that. And I was like, he shot himself. He got shot again. Like, he'd be dead by his own hand. Anyway, so he pulls the robot's arm off, right? And he didn't really want the gun.
We should do a super cut of all the times you get shot.
He gets shot. Like, you know what? That's something I might be doing, because what I was looking to do is I was going to take all the episodes and splice them together into one movie.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
That'd be cool, right? Anyway, so so he gets the key off the droid and unlocks it, and like this is pretty quick after they've run away, and then Zero gets on the radio and goes, hey guys, you've got a problem, he's escaped. And they're like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden the lights go out and all the doors start closing, and now I'm like, yeah, cool, maybe I'm going to see the Mando I want to see. And you see him go into this control room.
You're trapped in here with me,
right?
Yeah.
And like, okay, ruthless. So he decides, I'm going to go after them now, right? So he goes after the big one first, the Devorian. Obviously, get rid of him.
Yeah,
so he's
get rid of the big one first.
He's in the roof, and he like shoots his grappling hook around his neck. And Devorian's pretty strong. He's like, right, and pulls him down, right? And then he starts kicking the shit out of the
He's the worst Batman ever.
I know, right? And he's like electrocuting his head. He flings him across the room. Mando's like screaming. Birds just go flying off. They don't even aim at their target. I thought they auto aimed at their target. So that didn't work. He tries flame throwing the Devorian. That don't work. And so the Devorian is beating the shit out of him. And then he kind of gets him into a position where he closes the door on him. The Devorian starts lifting up. Now, at this point, he hits the button and closes the other door. And it looks like it would chop him in half and kill him, right? And then we don't see him again. And then so Mando goes off after one of the other ones. I can't remember who's next. The girl, I think. So he comes up after, and they get into a fight, and she throws her blades at him, and Mando starts blocking them like Batman. And then one of them gets him, he's like, ah! And he, like, first she blows his gun out of his hand, which Ange laughed at because she's always like, this guy just gets beaten up by everyone. So the first thing, she knocks his gun out of his hand. So he's like, ding, 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 and then he gets hit. He's like, ah! And then they get into a little fight, and then you see now at this point, right? This was annoying to me because you saw from behind her as he went round, and she kind of went like that, and you saw her back. Now, if I was writing it at this point, you would see him pull away and she'd fall to the ground, right? But instead, it cuts to the front of her, and he's just got the knife to her neck. A fighter like her would probably try and get out of that. So then you don't see her again. Then it goes on to the next guy, and it's Bill Burr. And I like how they did this, because he kind of goes around a few corridors and that, and then the door comes down and the lights are out, and there's like a strobe light effect, and you kind of see Mando getting closer to him, and then you see Mando's got behind him, and then he turns around and goes, ah, and then it cuts, and that's that. And the next thing, you see Mando rock up to the ship, and the Twi'lek's trying to get on the ship, and he calls out his name, and he's got his gun pointed at him, and he goes, you killed them, didn't you? And he goes, they got what they deserved. Now,
they didn't.
These fuckers were leaving you there to die, right?
They killed the bloke.
You up, right? And they killed the guy, right? Which you don't want to do. They got what they deserved is that when you return, you throw their heads at the feet of the other guy, right? But no, right? So we go flying back, and he takes the guy in, and he drops him off. Also, Zero is about to kill Baby Yoda because he's heard him around, and just as he's about to shoot him, Mando shoots Richard Ayoade in the head, and Richard Ayoade is dead, right? And so Mando flies back to base where his mate is, drops off the Twi'lek, gives him his money, and as Mando flies out, he goes, kill him, right? And then they hear a beeping, and he looks and he's like, what's this? And his mate is like, bastard. And Mando's ship just dodges some X-Wings, and you've got Dave Filoni, Rick Famuyiwa, and Deborah Chow flying X-Wings, and they come flying in, and they're going to blow up this place, and they start shooting it up, and you start seeing it get blown up, and Mando jumps to light speed and gives the little ball to Baby Yoda, his buddy, and he's like, I told you it was a bad idea. Anyway, then it cuts to the prison ship, and they're all just locked in a cell, and I'm like, come on, man, like, I know it's like family friendly, but people are allowed to get, you chop the dude in half, like, people are allowed to get killed.
It doesn't make any sense, does it, where this morality's come from?
No, and I want to see him taking people out. And
so also, that whole thing with Yoda, Baby Yoda thing, that was annoying. But, like, why don't... If I were him, I'd get one of those classic glasses and moustache and nose thing and put it on the baby, because this is probably the most famous baby in the world now.
But also...
everyone is looking for him.
That's probably better described what he does, because even here, he just left him on the ship while he went and did his mission.
I know.
It's like, just leave him around.
What was that cupboard thing he was in anyway?
I did like how Baby Yoda thought he was using the Force when Richard Ayoade got blown up, and he kind of looked at his hand. It's like, huh? But that was good.
It's so weird. It's weird. I don't get it.
The thing is, I did actually like this episode, but there's just it's actually things about the character and the thing with him not being so ruthless, which is what I want him to be. I want him to be darker. I want him to be more of the vengeful bounty hunter. But the things with him not being like that actually make me like him less. Like, I like the character less because of it. Because
it is turning. I'm telling you. I know I keep saying it, but it is like a cartoon. It really reminds me of a Dave Filoni cartoon now.
But I want to sort of go on the journey with the character. Like, I play Red Dead Redemption, right? Yeah. And Red Dead Redemption 2, the story mode of the game, when you first meet the character, he's like running with all these bad guys, but as the story goes on, you follow him on his path to redemption. And I would really like that in this movie if this character, in this series, if this character was a bit darker, and you had to sort of...
So I tell you what, I was sort of hoping he'd be like, like Leon, the professional.
Yeah.
Like he's He is
Yeah,
ruthless and that, but he's got this little, like Baby Yoda could be his Matilda. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah,
But
totally. I agree. This episode was actually written by Rick Famuyiwa and
was
Christopher
it?
Yost. So yeah, so it wasn't Dave Filoni.
Which one
He
did he
he
write? He must
he
have.
did the
Did he
last
write?
one, the
Oh,
one
right.
he directed. Yeah, the one that
Okay.
he wrote and directed. The Tatooine one. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, because it has got elements of Baby Car, Lone Wolf and Cub and all that in there. And that that side of things is cool. I quite like that, but it's just him. He's wet. He's a bit wet, and I
He's
don't
not
buy
tough
him.
enough. He's not tough
No,
enough to be this character.
no, I don't buy him as this tough badass character. He comes off as weak, and I don't like that. It doesn't make me want to follow him as the hero. Do you know what I mean? And that's not good. And I hope that they fix it. But the problem is, I don't know that other people are seeing it that way, because any other reviews and that everyone's like, oh yeah, he's so badass. And I'm like, are we watching the same thing?
Everyone is loving the show, aren't they?
And
I mean, and that's
I
not a
love
bad
it,
thing.
but
Yeah. But yeah, people think he's a badass, but he's not actually a badass.
no, and I really want him to be a badass, and I don't mind like that. There's sometimes where he comes across an enemy, that's more powerful and that kicks his ass a bit and all that, and that he comes out of it. But
he's a bit more like Indiana Jones, isn't he?
he is. I said this last time that he's more like Indiana Jones. A lot of it is luck.
Yeah, you did say that.
That's
He
it.
is like Indiana Jones.
Like he's good, but he's not that good. A lot of it is like he gets lucky, and most of the time this guy just gets lucky. He's got a high luck roll. But I want him to be a bit more, like as we were saying about Batman. Like I want him to be a bit more like he's ahead of you. Like you thought you had the drop on him, but you didn't.
Well, he's got all the tools like Batman.
Yeah.
Why does it should be like in Arkham game, in the games.
Yeah.
Like when he does the night mode and just like does the
because before he went into the facility to get Baby Yoda, where all the stormtroopers were and all that, he looked through the wall and he heard what they were saying.
Yeah.
So in that, he'd kind of like done a little bit of a, like before he went in, he did a little plan. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and then he kind of went in, and that's cool. Like I want him to be more like
having
that.
A plan
Whereas
would be good.
He just bumbles into things. He's like, oh, what? I didn't expect this. Oh shit. Oh. And then something falls on the enemy. He's like, whew, beat them. Yeah. It's like, you didn't really, did you? Like
it doesn't really seem like he's an experienced bounty hunter.
No, and the Devorian, right? The door closed on him. Well, apparently not. It must have been in front of me. It actually looked like it was right there, but obviously not, because he's in the cell at the end. So all I can get from that is that these guys are going to come back, right? These guys are going to come back after him at some point, because otherwise
they're going to escape.
Right? Yeah, of course they are. So, I mean,
well, I reckon it'd be like the last episode would be everyone that he's dealt with,
and that might be where he gets his crew. It might be the last episode of the season where he forms his crew going into season 2.
I don't think he's actually going to have a crew.
Like Quill and all those, you don't. I kind of think that I think
it might turn into Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what I imagine it's going to be like. I think it's going to be like he'll have his crew that he ends up putting together by the end of the season. All the people, because he'll realise that he has made friends around the place, and they're people he needs. He's got an engineer there. He's got a fighter. He's got
a little fella. Nick Nolte.
Yeah, that's Quill. Yeah, he's the engineer, right? So he's got him.
He's got that old bag, the old bag of fixed stuff.
Yeah, well, exactly. She's an engineer as well, but I don't think she'll be in it. I think she'll just stay on Tatooine, because he'll have Quill. He'll have him.
She'll be looking after the baby Yoda.
Yeah, no, I don't want her to come back, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, so overall, I liked it, and overall, I do like the series. There's just things about it that I'm not liking.
So I tell you what, I am loving the theme tune now.
I love the theme tune. I really love the theme tune. Yeah, it's so good. I like that from the beginning.
And they're playing it a bit more in the actual show now, aren't they?
Yeah. This one had more of a beat on it. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
More hip hop beat on it.
Because it's like that's his theme now. They need that little theme when he does stuff.
It is, because whenever he turns up, it goes woo. Do you not notice when they all jump down? They all jump down into the ship, and when he landed, went woo.
I was quite cool when he jumped out. I thought he did pretty bad.
Yeah. And then we find out that Pedro Pascal's not in the costume most of the time. Episode 4, he wasn't in it at all.
Again, that seems a bit of a cheat, doesn't
Right?
it?
Bryce Dallas Howard says she never worked with him at all for that episode. He was doing some stuff
What
on
was
his
he doing?
Broadway shows.
Cup of
He was
tea.
in a Broadway show and he was doing rehearsals for that. So,
Jazz hands.
he just recorded his voice. And I mean, there's 2 actors that are in the suit, and they said, they talk a lot, and he's like, why did you move like that? Why, like, what made you do this? And then that's how he works out how he's going to do the voice for it. But because of that, I really do think you pay Pedro Pascal, right? So I reckon season 2, this helmet's getting removed, and he's going to be without his helmet, because you're paying this guy that money to be in the show. You're not
even in it.
Show. Yeah, so they're going to, that helmet's going to come off.
Yeah,
that'll come off.
Well, yeah, it just seemed a waste. Because even last week you were saying how great he was at acting and being able to,
but then
with his movements, it's not even him.
Yeah, so the credit goes to those guys. Well, it is some of the time it's him, other times it's them. But in that one episode, it wasn't him at all. But I mean, they're in it a lot more than we thought. But then, they should be getting more credit, because as performance artists, they're doing a great job.
They're doing a brilliant job of getting shot. But
this is why I think that he'll take the helmet off, and we'll start seeing him without it, because because there's so many good voice actors out there.
I can say,
right?
There's no reason why I shouldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm used to having my bobbers without their helmets.
Yeah, see, I don't really want to watch that. I want to watch a Mandalorian with his helmet on, because they look cool. Like, I like Boba Fett. When Boba Fett became cool, it's because you never saw him. That's what made him cool. Yeah, I always like those characters. Otherwise, it's like guy in armor.
But then, what's the point of having a show about? I mean, this is the danger. This is the problem with Darth Vader comics. This is the problem, isn't it? You can't have too much of a character who's mysterious and keep it mysterious. Do you know what I mean? You just can't do it. You can't have your cake and eat it, boy.
You can't progress the character.
So you've got to either compromise.
But what it is because he said once you take the helmet off, you can't ever put it on. That's what my problem is, because I don't want him. Like, if it's like, okay, he takes it off sometimes and we see him, cool. But if it's like once it's off, then I'm like, oh, okay, because it's a cool helmet. Right? The whole thing, as much as Fett's armor looked cool, the helmet is really the thing that you look at and you're like, yeah, that's it. Right?
My view is maybe he'll take it off, but people won't see him in it off.
Maybe.
Or
we'll see him.
He could start wearing a burqa.
See, I'm surprised that we don't see him when he's on the Razor Crest on his own take it off, because there's no reason for us, the viewer.
Well, Baby Yoda's there.
Yeah, okay, I suppose he can't take off in front of him. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Anyway, we've been rambling on for quite a while now, an hour and a half.
It's been brilliant, man.
It has been good.
It's been a good episode, Jane. It's been good talk about Star Wars, mate. I love it.
The next time that we will talk about Star Wars, we would have just watched.
It'll be Thursday morning, the wee hours.
Oh yeah, and
I'm going to be tired.
Oh yeah, and then we'll have to get up early again to watch. Well, I'll be getting up early anyway, because my child will wake me up in the morning.
I won't be getting up that early, because I will be driving back from Wales to get to our midnight showing. So,
well, the next screening that we're going to is at 9:40 a.m. So you will still be getting up pretty early.
Not that early. I'll get up at 8:30. But it's a good job we've seen it in 4DX. I think that was a good move. That kept me awake.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to doing that. That'll be quite interesting.
It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait.
Yeah, cool. All right. Anyway, let's end the show there, and we'll come back with an exciting episode next week.
So we got a Mando next week or not?
Well, okay. Before we go, let's check the date of episode. What will this be? Episode 7.
Episode 7.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Mandalorian. Chapter 7. Air date. Look at this live on air. Doing a bit of research. Air date will be December 18th. So it's yes. So this one is Wednesday. This episode comes out before the Rise of Skywalker. So we get this one this Wednesday.
Holy moly!
I did actually know this now.
Oh, well, I didn't know
because I think we don't get the next one until the 27th. Is it the 27th?
After Christmas.
Yeah, I think it's the 27th of that one. Season finale, December 27th.
Are they having that Christmas party on the Friday? Is that why?
It must be. Yeah. So this one comes out on Wednesday, so we get Mandalorian in a couple of days, and then immediately afterwards, Rise of Skywalker. So that's a good lead up, right?
It's a big week, man.
Just before going to Star Wars. Oh man, you know what though? You know what sucks for me, right?
I'm not going to have a chance to watch it before Rise of Skywalker.
Well, I will when I get home, but normally I watch it in my working day, right?
Oh, you've got to watch it in your own time.
No, because on Wednesday we've got a little Christmas meal that we're going to. Oh man, that's going to stitch me up. So I can't watch the Mandalorian because I'm going to Christmas meal.
Well, as I said, I ain't going to see it because I ain't going to get back home until Thursday morning. So.
Ah man.
Well, I'm coming straight to you. All right, that is wicked. So let's tell everyone about our Facebook group, Star Wars Conversations. And the fact that we're on Twitter and Instagram at Star Wars Convo, and you can email us starwarsconversation@gmail.com, and you can just like our things and tell everyone how brilliant we are, and you can find us on TaylorNetwork of podcasts.com and on our feed. You can find them wherever you get podcasts. It don't matter because we're on everything.
We're everywhere.
And there's loads of other brilliant podcasts on the Taylor Network.
We're trying to force people to listen to us, but they're still avoiding us.
Even the Mighty Marvel Mix podcast, the TARDIS podcast. No, go check yourself. All the other great ones.
There's lots of stuff on there.
Yeah.
Lots
but to be fair, all you're going to want to watch this week are Star Wars, Mandalorian, and if you haven't watched it, everyone, I recommend you watch the Watchmen TV show. It's the last episode this week as well.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for this week. And until next
But not for this week.
But not for this week. No. So until next time.
Punch it, Chewie.
I have spoken.